Welcome back to Science for Sleep. Tonight, we're taking a quiet journey into the Milky Way, the vast, shimmering galaxy we call home. So before we begin, take a moment to settle in. Let your shoulders relax. Let your breath fall into an easy, natural rhythm, and let your thoughts drift outward as if they're floating slowly into a soft, starlit sky. In the stillness of the night, imagine a sky so clear that the Milky Way stretches overhead like a pale ribbon, a hazy river of distant stars. For most of human history, people looked up at this glowing band without knowing what it was. Yet even then, they felt something familiar in it, a sense of belonging, a sense of wonder, a quiet reminder that we live inside something vast and beautiful, even on the nights when we feel small. As you breathe gently, picture that soft glow arching above you now, woven from ancient starlight, drifting clouds of dust, and the slow cosmic currents that have shaped our galaxy for billions of years. If you enjoy these quiet journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, just breathe. Let the day fade, let the sky open, and let the soft pull of starlight settle your thoughts. There's nothing to do here. Just let the darkness soften around you. Let the stars blur gently into the distance. And when you're ready, we'll drift deeper into this quiet cosmic story together. When people look up at the night sky, the Milky Way often appears as nothing more than a faint, misty band, a quiet brushstroke of light across the darkness. But the truth of what you're seeing is far more intricate, far more ancient, and far more delicate than it appears from Earth. The Milky Way is not just a line of stars, it is an entire galaxy, a vast, spiraling collection of hundreds of billions of stars, drifting clouds of gas and dust, long streams of dark matter, and invisible structures that stretch far beyond what our eyes can see. It's a cosmic home made from layers of motion, light, and history, all woven together in a slow, gentle rotation that has been unfolding for billions of years. From where we stand, though, we can't see its shape. We're inside the galaxy, looking outward through its glowing disk, like standing in a quiet forest at night and trying to imagine the shape of the whole landscape from beneath the trees. The stars above us are only a small part of a much larger structure, one so wide that even light, moving at its incredible speed, would take 100,000 years to cross from one side to the other. And yet, in the soft darkness of a clear night, all of that complexity blends into a single, peaceful glow, a shimmering reminder that we are living inside something enormous, something that moves, breathes, and evolves on timescales far longer than a human life. Every star you've ever seen is part of a quiet spiral of light. Every childhood memory of stargazing came from the inside of a galaxy, turning silently in space. Every peaceful moment spent looking upward is a moment spent inside a structure older than continents, older than oceans, older than the Earth itself. For now, just imagine yourself floating near the edge of one of its spiral arms, watching billions of stars stretch out around you like grains of glowing sand. The warm ones, the cool ones, the young ones, the ancient ones. all drifting together in a soft cosmic dance. The Milky Way is not a single thing. It is a collection of stories, of stars, dust, gravity, and time, all layered into one quiet, glowing ribbon across the sky. Let's drift deeper into those layers. Long before telescopes, long before astronomy became a science, people stood beneath the night sky and wondered what the Milky Way truly was. To the earliest humans, it looked like a soft path of light, a quiet river flowing across the heavens. Some cultures imagined it as the trail of a divine being. Others believed it was the smoke of ancient fires. Many saw it as a celestial road, guiding souls or spirits from one world to another. And for thousands of years that was enough. The mystery itself carried its own comfort. But as time passed and our curiosity deepened, the question became more persistent. What is that pale band in the sky? Why does it look so different from the rest of the stars? Even though people could not measure it or study it, they knew it meant something. It was too large, too consistent, too luminous to be ordinary. And so the Milky Way became a quiet symbol of wonder, a companion to human imagination long before its true nature was understood. When telescopes were invented, the view changed. Suddenly, the hazy glow resolved into countless stars, packed so tightly together that they blended into a smooth river of light. It was breathtaking, a revelation that the sky held far more stars than anyone had imagined. But even then, astronomers did not yet know that this entire structure was a galaxy. They believed everything in the night sky belonged to one enormous system, with our sun resting near its center. It took generations of stargazers and long nights of patient observation before the truth began to emerge. One of the first clues came from noticing how the stars across the Milky Way appeared more densely packed than the stars away from it. This suggested a flattened structure like a great cosmic disk, and over time, astronomers began to understand that when we look at the Milky Way, we're looking edge-on through that disk, peering through layer after layer of stars, dust, and gas. The sky is quiet, but the galaxy is full, overflowing with light. But the moment everything changed was when an astronomer named Harlow Shapley looked at the distribution of globular clusters, dense, ancient balls of stars that orbit the galaxy like quiet companions. He noticed that these clusters weren't arranged around the sun. They were arranged around a distant point in the sky, far from our position. And with that realization, the illusion broke. The universe shifted. Humanity's place in the cosmos moved. We were not at the center. We had never been at the center. We were living in a far corner of something much larger. For the first time in history, people understood that the sun was just one star among billions, drifting in a spiral of light, circling a center we could not see. It was a humbling discovery, but also a peaceful one, because instead of placing us in a position of importance, it placed us in a position of belonging. A single star in a quiet neighborhood, tucked safely inside a glowing galactic disk. Much later, as telescopes grew stronger and technology advanced, astronomers realized something even more profound. The Milky Way itself was just one among countless galaxies. The night sky, once thought to be a single cosmic home, was actually filled with immense island universes, each as rich and complex as our own. Much later, as telescopes grew stronger and technology advanced, astronomers realized something even more profound. The Milky Way itself was just one among countless galaxies. The night sky, once thought to be a single cosmic home, was actually filled with immense island universes, each as rich and complex as our own. And yet, even among all those galaxies scattered across the universe, the Milky Way remains special to us, not because it's the largest or the brightest, but because it's the one we live inside. From Earth, we can never step outside our galaxy to see it whole. We can't float above it and admire its spiral arms curling gently through space. Instead, we must piece together its shape from hints and clues, the way you might reconstruct a vast landscape while standing deep within a forest. You see only the trees around you, the faint glow beyond them, and the subtle patterns of shadow and light. The view of the Milky Way from Earth is like that, a quiet hint of something enormous. Every patch of brightness across the band is a cluster of stars. Every dim region is a cloud of dust drifting between us and the light. Every subtle shift in color carries the age, temperature, and motion of stars locked in their slow, ancient dance. Bit by bit, astronomers learn to read these signs. They traced the tilt of the disk, measured the distances between stars, mapped the faint river of hydrogen gas that wraps around the galaxy like a gentle halo. They watched how stars move, not just across the sky, but toward or away from us, revealing the subtle curvature of the Milky Way's spiral arms. And slowly, a picture formed, a galaxy with long, graceful arms, a bright, dense center, a thin, glowing disk, a surrounding cloud of dark matter we cannot see, but can feel through gravitational tug. And somewhere in one of the quieter regions, tucked between spiral arms, a small star with a small set of planets, one of which carries oceans, forests, cities, and you. It took centuries of looking upward, decades of patient measurement, and countless nights beneath the stars to understand that the Milky Way is our home not just in space but in time. We are shaped by it. We move with it. We drift around its center in a slow orbit that takes hundreds of millions of years to complete. And every night, when you look at that soft band of light, you're seeing a cross-section of the vast structure we belong to, a gentle reminder that you are part of something both ancient and quietly magnificent. All of humanity's stories, all of our history, every moment of every life has unfolded inside this glowing spiral of stars. And even though we can only see it from within, that perspective makes it no less beautiful. Now that we know where we are inside this galaxy, the next step is to understand the shape of the Milky Way itself, not as a distant object, but as a soft swirling structure we drift through every moment of our lives. Even though we live inside the Milky Way, its shape is something we've had to imagine from clues, like feeling the contours of a familiar face in the dark. We can't step outside of our galaxy and look back at it the way we might admire a photograph of a distant spiral. Instead, astronomers have slowly pieced together its form from delicate hints scattered across the sky. If you could drift far above our galaxy and look down on it from a quiet perch in space, you would see something elegant and calm, a broad, flat disk with long, sweeping arms that curve outward in gentle spirals. These arms are not rigid structures. They're not solid pathways of stars. They're more like soft waves, regions where stars gather more densely, drifting through cosmic space the way currents gather in a quiet sea. The Milky Way's disk is thin compared to its width, like a luminous, slow-turning whirlpool of light. Stars, gas, and dust settle into this disk, creating a glowing plane that stretches across the night sky when we look at it from within. Everything we see, every bright cluster, every winter constellation, every soft cloud of starlight, lies somewhere inside that thin, shimmering layer. At the very center of the galaxy sits a bright, rounded bulge, a tightly packed sphere of older stars glowing softly like a warm ember. This central bulge rises above and below the disk, creating a gentle swelling that holds some of the oldest light in the Milky Way. It is a region rich with history, where stars have been circling the galactic heart for billions of years. And hidden deep inside that central bulge is a quiet giant, a supermassive black hole, not angry or violent, but simply heavy, a calm anchor around which the entire galaxy slowly turns. From Earth, we can't see it. We can only observe the way nearby stars curve around it in graceful looping orbits. Even this anchor, immense as it is, moves gently through the galaxy's own shifting tides. Surrounding the disk like a faint, invisible shell is the galactic halo, a soft sphere filled with ancient stars and mysterious dark matter. The halo is not bright. It doesn't shine like the spiral arms. Instead, it forms a quiet, supportive structure that holds the galaxy together in a delicate gravitational embrace. If the Milky Way were a lantern, the halo would be the glass, invisible on its own, yet essential to the shape and glow of the light inside. One of the most surprising things about the Milky Way's shape is how little of it we can see with our eyes. From Earth, the spiral pattern isn't visible. The arms don't stretch across the sky like painted strokes. Instead, we witness only a thin slice, the cross-section of a galaxy seen from the inside. And yet, that thin slice is breathtaking. It's the soft veil of starlight that appears on summer nights, the gentle glow that people have been watching since the earliest stories were told. Imagine now, floating just outside the disk, watching billions of stars drift past below you, in spirals so wide they take hundreds of millions of years to complete a single turn. The arms are not rigid spokes. They are more like cosmic traffic patterns, places where stars slow down or bunch together briefly before drifting onward. Everything moves, but so slowly that a human lifetime is just a breath within its rotation. The Milky Way shape is not static. It shifts gradually, the arms bending, stretching, and reshaping themselves over time. Even the stars themselves migrate, moving outward or inward as the galaxy's gravitational tides guide them gently across the disk. Nothing in the Milky Way stands still. Everything drifts quietly in an enormous ancient dance. And somewhere inside this swirling disk, tucked into a calm, unassuming region between two spiral arms, is us, a small solar system drifting along, unaware of the vast currents carrying it through space. From here, the Milky Way may look like a faint ribbon of light, but in truth, it is an entire living structure, soft, dynamic, and endlessly unfolding. When you think of the Milky Way, it's easy to imagine it as one enormous thing, one great swirl of light drifting through the universe. But the galaxy is really made from countless small pieces, each shining softly in the dark. Stars are the quiet building blocks of everything we see, not just the bright ones people notice during a night of stargazing, but billions of others too faint to ever reach the naked eye. If you could float within the Milky Way and look in every direction, you would see stars scattered like gentle sparks in a vast ocean, some close enough to warm the sky, others so distant they blend into a smooth, milky glow. Each one is a tiny engine of light, burning quietly for millions or billions of years, and together they weave the soft texture of our galaxy. Most stars aren't dramatic or unusual. They're calm, steady spheres of gas, glowing with a warmth that spreads across unimaginable distances. Some are cool and red, shining with a soft, ember-like hue. Others are blue and bright, carrying the intensity of higher temperatures. Some are ancient, their light softened by time. Others are young, still wrapped in wisps of dust from the clouds that formed them. But no matter their age or color or brightness, each one contributes to the gentle glow of the Milky Way, a glow that has comforted humanity since long before we knew what stars truly were. Our own sun is just one of these quiet lights, one star among hundreds of billions, a warm, familiar presence drifting through a galaxy filled with countless others. If you could gather all the stars we can see with our eyes on a clear night, they would make up only a tiny fraction of the Milky Way. Almost all of the galaxy's light, its rivers of starlight, its glowing bands, its dense clusters, comes from stars too far or too faint to be noticed individually. They blend together, forming a soft luminosity that stretches across the sky like powdered light. Some regions of the galaxy are crowded with stars, dense neighborhoods where suns sit close enough that their combined glow turns the darkness into a gentle haze. Other places are quiet and sparse, with stars separated by immense distances, like lanterns hanging far apart in a vast, quiet hall. And beyond the stars you can see are the stars you can't. White dwarfs, the silent, cooling remnants of ancient suns. Neutron stars, tiny, dense beads of matter left behind by enormous explosions. Brown dwarfs, objects not quite star and not quite planet, glowing faintly with leftover warmth. Each one is part of the galaxy's fabric, even though they remain hidden from ordinary sight. Stars move through the Milky Way the way leaves drift down a slow, winding river. Their paths curve gently, shaped by the gravity of the galaxy itself. They're not fixed in place. They wander. They migrate. They shift across the spiral arms over millions of years. Even our sun moves, carrying the Earth, the Moon, and every memory humanity has ever had along with it. When you look up at the Milky Way from Earth, you're seeing just a thin cross-section of this river of stars. A slice of a disk so wide that light itself would need 100,000 years to reach from one side to the other. And in that thin slice, every point of brightness is a story, a life cycle, a moment in cosmic time. Some stars are just beginning. Some are in their quiet middle years. Some are nearing the end of their long, glowing journey. But all of them, every single one, contributes to the soft, shimmering architecture of the Milky Way. The next time you look at the night sky, imagine the billions of tiny lights you can't see. Imagine the stars blending softly together until they form a continuous glow. Imagine yourself inside that glow, drifting peacefully among quiet suns. When you picture the Milky Way, you might imagine long, elegant arms curving outward in gentle spirals, reaching across space like slow-moving currents in a quiet ocean. And in many ways that image is true. But the spiral arms aren't solid structures. They aren't rigid pathways. They're more like patterns, soft waves of density that move through the galaxy with a calm, unhurried rhythm. If you could drift far above the Milky Way and watch it turn, you'd see these arms glowing faintly, outlined by clusters of young, bright stars. They trace wide arcs that curl gracefully around the galactic center, forming the familiar spiral shape that has inspired artists, astronomers, and dreamers for centuries. And yet, the arms are not made of fixed material. They're more like gentle cosmic traffic jams, regions where stars and gas temporarily gather before drifting onward. The stars inside the arms are not locked into place. They move in and out of the spirals over millions of years. A star may be born in a spiral arm, shine there for a time, and eventually wander into a quieter region of the disk. And all the while, the pattern of the arm continues, a wave passing through space, even as the stars themselves flow freely. It's similar to watching ripples move across a lake. The water isn't traveling with the ripple. The wave is simply passing through it. The spiral arms behave the same way, gliding through the galaxy as a soft wave of brightness. Inside those arms, the density of stars is just a little higher than the regions around them. Not dramatically, just enough to create a subtle glow. The extra gravity of that density encourages gas clouds to collapse, forming new stars. So the spiral arms become glowing nurseries, lit by the bright blue light of young stars burning hot and fast. These young stars don't live long in cosmic terms, but their brilliance outlines the arms, making them visible from afar. Between the arms, space is quieter. The stars there are older, softer, dimmer. They drift in the broad, calm regions between the waves, glowing with a warm steadiness that has lasted for billions of years. The sun lives in one of these peaceful spaces, a gentle region called the Orion Spur, tucked between two larger arms. It's a calm neighborhood, not too crowded, not too empty. A place where stars like ours can live long, stable lives without being disrupted by the bustle of star formation. If you could float inside a spiral arm, the sky would look different. The density of bright stars would give the night a soft, hazy glow. Shadows would be gentler. Starlight would blend with starlight until the darkness felt textured, almost luminous. If you drifted outward into the quieter regions, the brightness would fade, replaced by more distant, lonely stars scattered across a deeper darkness. Both regions have their own beauty. one lively and glowing, the other quiet and spacious. The spiral arms themselves turn slowly, so slowly that a complete rotation would take hundreds of millions of years. Entire civilizations could rise and fall, entire species could appear and vanish, and the arms would still be tracing the same patient curves through space. Their motion is not something you see. It's something you feel in the grand, slow unfolding of cosmic time. And through it all, the Milky Way holds its shape gently, the arms flowing outward in a soft, swirling pattern that speaks of calm vastness rather than chaos. Everything moves, but nothing rushes. Everything drifts, but nothing is lost. When you look at the Milky Way across the night sky, you're seeing only a thin slice of this vast spiral, a cross-section of one arm viewed from the inside. But even that glimpse carries the full beauty of the structure, a quiet river of light, shaped by ancient waves drifting endlessly through space. If you could step outside the Milky Way and watch it from a great peaceful distance, you would see something almost surprising. Our sun is not still. It never has been. It drifts through the galaxy with a kind of soft determination, slow on human scales, but graceful and steady across cosmic time. The sun, along with every planet, moon, comet, and fleck of dust in our solar system, is on a long, looping orbit around the center of the Milky Way. It's a journey so vast that no human will ever witness even a tiny fraction of it unfold. The sun has been making this trip for over 4 billion years, and it still has many loops left to go. One full orbit takes roughly 230 million years. That means the last time our solar system was in this region of the galaxy, dinosaurs did not yet exist. The continents were fused together in a different arrangement. The world was warm, strange, and unrecognizable. Entire chapters of Earth's history have passed in what, to the galaxy, is just a single rotation. And all the while, the sun has been drifting quietly along its path, never stopping, never hurrying. A calm, steady lantern carried by the gravitational tides of the Milky Way. If you could watch the sun from above the galaxy, you would see it follow a gentle, curved trail, not a perfect circle, but a soft, elliptical path that rises and falls slightly through the thickness of the galactic disk. The sun moves upward for millions of years, then dips slowly downward, like a small boat bobbing on the surface of a vast, slow-moving sea. All of this motion is so subtle that we never feel it. The Earth spins, the Earth orbits the sun, and the sun itself is carried along a much larger route, pulling us with it through quiet interstellar space. As the sun drifts, it passes through different regions of the galaxy, sometimes through slightly denser pockets of stars, sometimes through calmer, emptier stretches, sometimes through areas where cosmic dust thickens, making starlight appear softer, sometimes through regions where the glow of star formation brightens the cosmic horizon. But nothing about this journey is rushed. The sun moves at a steady pace, calm and predictable, like a quiet traveler walking a long, ancient path. This motion has shaped everything we know. Every moment of human history unfolded while our solar system was gliding through a particular region of the galaxy, a specific arc of its 230 million year orbit. Every story you've ever heard, every culture that has ever risen or fallen, every night sky painted with constellations, all of it took place along a small segment of this enormous cosmic loop. Sometimes, people imagine the Milky Way as a backdrop, something that sits still while we live our lives below it. But the truth is softer and much more beautiful. We are moving with it, drifting through its arms, carried gently by its gravity, traveling through a galaxy that has been turning quietly since long before Earth was born. Our sun, warm and familiar, is just one of hundreds of billions of stars making this same majestic journey, each one tracing a patient orbit around the galactic heart. And even though we will never see the full path with our own eyes, we are part of it. Every breath you take, every night you look up at the sky, every memory you have ever made has happened while you and the sun are drifting through the Milky Way together. It's a peaceful thought, to know that you're not standing still in the universe. You are traveling through it, gently, continuously, without effort, carried along by a star that has been guiding Earth through the galaxy since the beginning. If you were to drift inward through the Milky Way, past the calm regions between the spiral arms, past the clouds of dust and newborn stars, you would eventually reach a place unlike any other, the quiet, luminous heart of our galaxy. The galactic center is not bright in the way we normally imagine brightness. It's bright with density, with history, with the soft warmth of countless ancient stars packed closely together. From Earth, the center of the galaxy is hidden behind thick curtains of dust. Our eyes can't see through it, but infrared telescopes can. And what they reveal is something surprisingly peaceful. A dense, glowing cluster of old stars, drifting around each other in long, patient orbits. The light from these stars is warm and golden, softened by age and distance. It is the glow of billions of years, a quiet radiance that has been shining since long before the sun was born. At the very center of this cluster lies something even more mysterious, a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius, a star. Despite the name, it is neither violent nor chaotic. Think of it more as a heavy presence, a quiet anchor. It sits at the heart of the galaxy, the way a stone sits at the bottom of a pond, shaping the currents around it without needing to move. Stars near this region orbit with a kind of elegant urgency, tracing small loops around the black hole with speeds that would be unimaginable elsewhere. But even this motion, intense as it is, unfolds over years, silent, graceful, and perfectly contained. Nothing chaotic, nothing cinematic, just gravity doing what gravity has always done. If you could stand on a world orbiting one of those central stars, the sky would look extraordinary. Instead of the thin, gentle band of the Milky Way we see from Earth, the night would glow with the light of millions of closely packed suns. The sky would shimmer with warmth, as if the darkness itself was sprinkled with golden dust. Shadows would stretch softly in every direction. Starlight would feel almost tangible, a quiet brilliance surrounding you like a cosmic lantern. And yet, even here, even in the most crowded region of the galaxy, everything would still feel calm. These stars have been circling the center for billions of years. Their paths are stable, their orbits are steady. The black hole does not pull them in. It simply holds the galaxy together with its quiet weight. The galactic center is old, older than the Earth, older than every mountain and every ocean on our planet. It has watched stars be born, flare, fade, and drift away. It has held the shape of the Milky Way steady for longer than life has existed. When we look toward the center from Earth, we're not seeing chaos. We're seeing the glow of the galaxy's memory, the accumulated light of countless ancient suns stacked together along a single line of sight. It's the densest chapter of our galactic story, but also the softest, because distance and dust turn that overwhelming structure into a single, gentle patch of brightness in the night. And every night you've ever looked up, the galactic center has been there, just beyond your sight, glowing softly behind the veil of the sky. A quiet heart beating at the core of the Milky Way, guiding the motion of billions of stars with perfect patience. When you're ready, we can drift outward again, exploring the vast, ghostly halo that wraps our entire galaxy in a faint, invisible embrace. Far beyond the glowing disk of the Milky Way, past the spiral arms and the drifting clusters of stars, there exists a region that doesn't shine at all. It's not bright enough to see with your eyes. It doesn't form constellations. It doesn't trace patterns across the sky. And yet, it holds the galaxy together in a way that is both subtle and profound. This is the halo, a vast, invisible sphere that surrounds the Milky Way, like a soft, cosmic cocoon. If you were to float outside the spiral disk and look back at the galaxy, the halo wouldn't appear as a glowing shell. Instead, it would be an enormous, quiet emptiness, dotted with ancient stars, faint clusters, and long trails of stellar debris left behind by smaller galaxies the Milky Way absorbed long ago. These stars are old, older than most stars in the disk, older even than the spiral arms themselves. They drift in long, slow orbits that carry them high above the plane of the galaxy, moving through regions where the darkness is so deep it almost feels endless. But the halo is not only made of stars. Much of it is composed of something we can't see at all: dark matter, a mysterious form of mass that does not shine, reflect, or emit light. We know it's there only because of its quiet gravitational pull. It cradles the galaxy gently, keeping it from flying apart as it rotates. In many ways, the halo is like a silent guardian, shaping the Milky Way, not through brightness, but through presence. If the Milky Way were a lantern, the spiral arms would be the flame, the disk would be the glowing glass, and the halo would be the invisible warmth radiating outward, felt but not seen. Inside this halo, the stars are spaced far apart, so far apart that you could travel light years in complete darkness before passing another sun. The emptiness is not cold or frightening. It's peaceful, spacious, almost meditative. A reminder that even in the galaxy's darkest regions, everything still drifts with purpose. Floating here, far from the crowded disk, you would see the Milky Way shining below you like a grand, luminous whirlpool. Its spiral arms would glow softly, their curves outlined by clusters of young, bright stars. The galactic center would shimmer with its dense golden light, And around it all, stretching far beyond the glow, the halo would extend into silence, vast, gentle, and ancient. The halo also contains the remnants of galaxies long gone, streams of stars pulled apart by gravity, small clusters that once belonged to other cosmic systems. These are traces of the Milky Way's history, quiet pathways showing where smaller galaxies drifted too close and were slowly woven into our own. Somewhere out here are the oldest objects in the galaxy, stars that have been shining since near the beginning of time, orbiting in long, slow arcs that no single human lifetime could ever witness change. They carry memories of a universe that was younger, dimmer, and far more mysterious than the one we see now. Even though the halo is faint, its influence is everywhere. It shapes how the galaxy spins. It guides the motion of stars. It holds the spiral arms in place. It gives the Milky Way its gentle structure. And you, the Earth, the Sun, every familiar part of your sky, drift inside this invisible embrace, surrounded by a region so vast and quiet that it stretches for hundreds of thousands of light years beyond what the eye can see. The halo is the galaxy's soft outline, its quiet border, its hidden architecture. And even though you may never see it directly, you have been living inside its gentle pull for your entire life. When you look up at the Milky Way on a clear, dark night, the soft glow you see is only part of the story. Between the stars, woven through the spiral arms and layered across the galactic disk, there are drifting clouds of dust and gas that give the Milky Way its quiet texture. They don't shine brightly, and they don't stand out in the sky, but they play some of the most important roles in the life of the galaxy. These clouds, made of tiny grains of carbon, ice, and silica dust, float gently in space like faint cosmic mist. To the eye, they can appear as dark patches where starlight seems to fade away, quiet voids where the sky looks incomplete. But these dim regions are not empty at all. They are full of potential, full of material, full of the soft ingredients from which new stars are born. If you could drift through one of these clouds, the view would be different from anything you have ever seen. The sky would not be black. It would not be filled with crisp, sharp stars. Instead, the starlight would be filtered through dust, turning everything a muted grey-blue or warm golden brown. Shapes would blur, edges would soften. The entire scene would feel dreamy, almost watercolor-like, as if the galaxy had wrapped itself in a quiet veil. Some clouds stretch for hundreds of light years. Others are compact, dense, and quietly glowing with hidden energy. Some drift through the spiral arms like slow rivers of shadow. Others form bright, colorful nebulae lit from within by the newborn stars growing in their depths. In the Milky Way, dust and gas serve as the galaxy's memory and its future. They record the remnants of old stars, the ashes of ancient suns that once burned brightly, and they hold the raw material for new stars, the soft beginnings of systems that will eventually shine for billions of years. Inside these clouds, temperatures drop to levels colder than anything on Earth. The dust absorbs starlight, cooling the surrounding gas and allowing it to collapse under its own weight. Slowly, quietly, over millions of years, a star begins to form. The process is so gentle that if you could watch it, you might not notice it changing at all. A faint swirl of gas here, a slight thickening there, a warm glow deep inside, slowly gaining strength. These star-forming regions are scattered throughout the Milky Way, especially along the spiral arms, where density waves compress gas and dust together. They act like cosmic nurseries, warm, glowing pockets where stars and planets are shaped from fragile clouds. When young stars ignite, their light spills out across the dust, coloring the clouds in soft reds and blues. Even these colors are muted, dreamy, delicate, the galaxy painting itself in shades too calm for the naked eye to see. Between these bright nurseries lie the quieter regions, vast stretches where dust is thin, gas is sparse, and the stars shine more clearly. These open spaces allow us to see deep into the galaxy's structure, through layers of spiral arms and into the central regions where Sagittarius A resides. Without dust, the Milky Way would look brighter, but it would also lose its subtlety, its shadows, the gentle gradients that make the night sky feel atmospheric and alive. Dust also creates some of the most famous dark shapes in astronomy: the Horsehead Nebula, the Pipe Cloud, the Coal Sack. These shapes are not carved from emptiness. They are made from dust dense enough to block the starlight behind them. They are the silhouettes of future stars, the outlines of stories the galaxy has not yet begun to write. If you floated among these clouds, you might feel as if you were drifting through quiet weather, a place where light moves differently, where shadows feel soft, where the galaxy speaks in whispers instead of stars. Nothing abrupt, nothing loud, just a slow, gentle unfolding of cosmic material drifting through billions of years. Every star you've ever seen began as dust. Every planet, every moon, every familiar place in the night sky was shaped from these quiet clouds. And as new stars form, old ones die and return their material to the galaxy, feeding the cycle again. The Milky Way breathes in this way, gathering dust, forming stars, releasing dust, beginning again, slowly, endlessly, calmly. Every star you see in the night sky, every warm golden light, every faint shimmer, every bright point piercing the darkness, is part of a quiet, ongoing cycle that has been unfolding in the Milky Way for billions of years. Stars are born softly, live patiently, and fade slowly, returning their material to the galaxy, so new stars can one day form again. It's a peaceful rhythm, far calmer than the dramatic images we sometimes imagine. Out in space, everything happens gradually, like slow breathing. A star begins its life inside a cold cloud of dust and gas. Deep within that cloud, a small region grows slightly heavier than the rest. It draws more material toward itself, gathering strength, growing warmer, and over millions of years, it becomes dense enough for hydrogen to ignite in its core. That first spark is delicate, not an explosion, just a quiet turning on of light. A star is born, glowing gently in the darkness, like a lantern flickering to life. Newborn stars often hide inside their dusty cradles. Their light spills outward, pushing against the surrounding cloud, carving soft cavities and illuminating the gas in dreamy colors. Only when the dust thins does the star emerge, shining freely for the first time in open space. Stars spend most of their lives in calm stability. They burn steadily, balancing the inward pull of gravity with the outward push of energy from their core. This balance lasts for millions or billions of years, depending on the star's size. Small stars, the cool red ones, live extraordinarily long, glowing gently for trillions of years. Larger stars burn brighter and faster, living shorter but more luminous lives. Our sun sits somewhere in the middle, radiant and stable, a serene presence drifting around the galaxy. As stars grow older, something subtle happens inside them. They begin to swell. Their outer layers expand slowly, becoming cooler and redder, forming what astronomers call red giants. If you could watch a red giant rise over a peaceful landscape, its light would feel warm and muted, like the last glow of a setting sun. Eventually, the star's outer layers drift away, not violently, but softly, as if the star is exhaling after a long, patient existence. Those layers spread into space, forming delicate shells of glowing gas that slowly expand, fade, and merge back into the galaxy's dust. What remains is the core, a small, white-hot ember called a white dwarf, a quiet reminder of the star that once shone so brightly. Massive stars follow a slightly different path, but even their endings are part of the same gentle cosmic cycle. While supernovae are sometimes described as violent, in the vast silence of space, they unfold slowly, their light spreading outward over years, not seconds. The debris they release becomes the raw material for future clouds, future stars, future planets. Nothing is wasted. Nothing disappears. Everything becomes part of the galaxy again. If you could drift among these stellar remnants, you might see faint filaments of glowing gas stretching across space, like soft, colorful threads woven into the night. Each one is a story, a star that lived, warmed its surroundings, and then gave its material back to the Milky Way. Every breath you take contains atoms forged inside ancient stars. Every part of Earth, every rock, every ocean, every tree is made from stardust older than the sun itself. Star birth, star life, star death, star renewal. The galaxy has been repeating this cycle for billions of years, slowly filling itself with light, warmth, and possibility. When you're ready to continue, we can drift outward again and meet the Milky Way's quiet companions, the small, faint galaxies that follow us through space. The Milky Way may seem enormous and solitary when you look at it from Earth, but it is not alone. All around our galaxy, moving in slow orbits and gentle arcs, are dozens of small, faint companions. Tiny galaxies traveling through space with us, like quiet friends drifting alongside a much larger traveler. These are the dwarf galaxies, soft clusters of stars that formed billions of years ago and now circle the Milky Way in wide, patient loops. Most of them are so faint that you could look directly at them and never know they're there. Their light is delicate, often hidden by distance, dust, and the brightness of our own galactic disk. But even in their faintness, they are part of the Milky Way story. The most famous companions are the large and small Magellanic Clouds, two irregular dwarf galaxies that hover just outside the Milky Way's disk, like glowing clouds of light. To observers in the southern hemisphere, they appear as soft patches in the night sky, almost like detached pieces of the Milky Way floating nearby. They drift around our galaxy in looping orbits, gently tugged by gravity, slowly weaving closer over millions of years. If you could stand under a dark southern sky, the Magellanic Clouds would look almost like cosmic lanterns, diffuse, ghost-like, glowing just enough to hint at the stars inside. They have been companions of the Milky Way for so long that their histories and ours have started to intertwine. Streams of stars stretch between them and us, forming faint, delicate bridges carved by gravity's slow pull. But the Milky Way has many smaller companions too: dwarf spheroidals, star clusters, and ancient groups of stars that drift silently through the halo. Some of these galaxies have only a few million stars. Some have even fewer. Yet each one carries its own quiet history. Many have been shaped by the Milky Way's gravity, stretched into long, thin ribbons called stellar streams. These streams are some of the most poetic structures in the galaxy. They are like trails of starlight, left behind by small galaxies that ventured too close to the Milky Way's gentle pull. Over billions of years, they were stretched apart, their stars distributed into long, curving arcs that wrap around the galaxy like faint brushstrokes. To the eye, these streams look invisible. To a powerful telescope, they look like dotted lines of ancient stars tracing graceful paths across the halo. Each stream is a quiet echo of a galaxy that once was, a remnant, drifting softly through the dark. Even globular clusters, dense, ancient balls of stars, move through the halo as companions. They are not galaxies, but they orbit the Milky Way similarly, like small, glowing beads suspended in deep space. Some of these clusters are nearly as old as the universe itself, containing stars that have been burning for more than 12 billion years. To see one up close would be like staring into a cosmic time capsule, a smooth sphere made of hundreds of thousands of faint, whispering suns. If you could drift among these companions, the Milky Way would appear enormous beneath you, a swirling, glowing city of stars, while the smaller galaxies would hover around it like gentle lanterns floating on a still lake. The quietness of their motion would be striking. Nothing rushes. Nothing collides sharply. Everything drifts with patience measured in billions of years. These faint neighbors are important. They brought stars to the Milky Way. They shaped the halo. They continue to orbit with us, as if keeping the galaxy company on its long journey through the universe. And although we rarely see them with our own eyes, the Milky Way moves through space surrounded by a subtle constellation of companions, each one a witness to the galaxy's ancient, unfolding story. Long before the Milky Way looked the way it does now, long before the spiral arms stretched outward like calm, glowing currents, it began as something much smaller. The galaxy we live in today is the result of billions of years of slow growth, quiet mergers, gentle collisions, and patient accumulation. Its history is not a single event, but an entire lifetime of cosmic evolution unfolding softly across time. If you could go back to the early universe, when everything was new and young and filled with a raw energy, the Milky Way would not yet exist. Instead, the cosmos was dotted with small, chaotic clouds of gas and pockets of dark matter. These were the seeds from which galaxies would eventually grow. One of those clouds, dense enough, cool enough, and stable enough, began to collapse under its own weight, forming the earliest version of our galaxy. It wasn't a spiral then. It wasn't elegant or organized. It was just a lumpy, irregular cluster of young stars, bright, energetic, and scattered through a turbulent environment. Everything was closer then, hotter, more crowded. The universe had not had time to stretch out yet, so early galaxies were shaped by frequent encounters with one another. Over time, small galaxies drifted together, pulled by gentle gravitational tides. When they merged, they didn't collide dramatically, they blended. Their stars moved through each other like passing clouds. Their gas mixed, their shape softened, and bit by bit, the Milky Way grew larger, wider, and more structured. Some of the dwarf galaxies orbiting us today are leftovers from this early era. Ancient neighbors that never fully merged, still drifting near the edges of the halo like memories preserved in starlight. As the galaxy grew heavier, it began to spin. And as it spun, the material inside it slowly flattened into a disk. The same structure we see today. Stars formed within that disk, layer by layer, generation by generation. The spiral pattern emerged gradually, shaped by waves of density that moved through the growing disk like ripples across a pond. Many of the stars in the Milky Way's thick disk and halo are relics from this period. Ancient suns that formed before the galaxy settled into its modern shape. Their compositions tell a quiet story. Back then, the universe was made of simpler elements. These stars contain fewer heavy atoms because earlier generations of stars had not yet lived, died, and enriched the galaxy with stardust. Later, after billions of years of growth, a major event occurred. The Milky Way merged with a galaxy often called Gaia Enceladus, or the Gaia sausage. The stars from that galaxy were scattered across our halo, their long, looping orbits still visible today in the patterns astronomers map. That ancient merger reshaped the Milky Way structure and contributed significantly to its present-day mass. And still, the galaxy continued to evolve. New stars formed. Old stars faded. Small galaxies drifted too close and were gently pulled apart, their stars wrapped into long tidal streams. Dark matter gathered quietly, shaping everything from the galaxy's rotation to the way light moves through its outskirts. The Milky Way's past is not a story of sudden drama. It is a story of slow accumulation, quiet blending, and soft transformation. Everything that exists now, the spiral arms, the glowing disk, the calm region where the sun lives, is the result of billions of tiny motions, layered over one another like brushstrokes in a cosmic painting. If you could see the entire history of the Milky Way at once, it would look like a glowing cloud gradually smoothing into a spiral, absorbing wandering galaxies and spinning itself into the elegant shape we recognize today. And through all of this, the galaxy has held together, turning slowly around its warm, crowded center, carrying ancient stars, young stars, and everything between across the vastness of cosmic time. The Milky Way you see now is not just a place. It is a memory of everything that has ever happened inside it. A quiet record of the universe's unfolding, written in stars, dust, and gravity. Trying to understand the shape of the Milky Way from Earth is a bit like trying to describe a vast landscape while standing in the middle of it at night. You can feel the space around you. You can sense the broad outlines. You can see what's nearby. But the full picture is hidden. Not because it doesn't exist, but because you are inside it. And yet, astronomers have learned to map the Milky Way with surprising clarity, using patience, imagination, and the faintest hints of starlight. If you were standing in a dark, quiet forest, you might notice how the trees closer to you appear larger, while those in the distance seem faint and thin. Little by little, with enough time, you could estimate how the forest spreads out around you, even without climbing above it. That is how mapping the Milky Way works. Not through direct sight, but through subtle clues scattered across the sky. One of the first tools astronomers used was parallax, the tiny shift in a star's position as Earth moves around the Sun. The shift is so small that it takes careful measurement, but from that shift, you can calculate a star's distance. Nearby stars show noticeable movement. Distant stars hardly move at all. Each measurement becomes a thread in a growing tapestry. Later, astronomers began studying variable stars, stars that grow brighter and dimmer in predictable rhythms. Certain types, like Cepheids, pulse at rates that reveal their true brightness. By comparing how bright they appear to how bright they should be, astronomers can estimate how far away they are. These stars act like cosmic lanterns, quiet beacons scattered throughout the galaxy, helping us trace its vast outline. The color of starlight helps too. Dust absorbs blue light more than red, making distant stars look warmer and dimmer. By measuring that soft reddening, astronomers can understand how much dust lies between us and a given region, revealing the structure of the galactic disk, where dust clouds gather in gentle lanes. Eventually, humanity launched telescopes into space, far above the glow of Earth's atmosphere. Missions like Gaia began measuring the positions and motions of over 1 billion stars, tracking their tiny drifts across the sky over years. Each drift, each shift, each change becomes a small hint about the galaxy's shape. When all of those hints are layered together, a picture forms. A soft, spiraling disk with arms that curl outward, a thick central bulge, and a diffuse halo of stars surrounding everything. Mapping the Milky Way isn't a single discovery. It's a slow mosaic. Light by light, star by star, motion by motion. Even the speed at which stars move reveals things. Some stars drift slightly faster, following the curves of the spiral arms. Others lag behind or drift outward. When astronomers trace these motions across thousands of stars, spiral patterns emerge, gentle waves echoing through the disk. Gas clouds help too. Radio telescopes pick up the faint signal of hydrogen gas, a soft whisper spread across the galaxy. By listening to those whispers, astronomers can trace the spiral arms more clearly, mapping their slow, curving paths as they wrap around the galactic center. All of these techniques blend together like layers of translucent paint. Each one adds detail. Each one adds depth, Each one reveals something that can't be seen directly, but can be understood through patience and observation. And in the end, what emerges is a picture of the Milky Way that feels almost dreamlike. A glowing disk, wide and calm, with long, elegant arms and a soft halo of ancient stars drifting beyond its edges. Even though we can't step outside our galaxy, we have learned to see it, not through sight alone, but through patterns, colors, movements, and light. Through quiet clues left scattered across the night sky. It is a reminder that even in the deepest darkness, we can understand the world around us by paying attention, gently, patiently, one quiet moment at a time. As familiar as the night sky may feel, the Milky Way is filled with places and phenomena that are far stranger than anything we experience on Earth. They aren't loud or overwhelming. They don't announce themselves with bright colors or dramatic motion. Instead, they exist quietly, tucked into the galaxy like small secrets waiting to be noticed. Some of these wonders are made of light. Some are made of emptiness. Some are made of gravity, or magnetism, or time. But all of them add texture to the Milky Way, making it not just a collection of stars, but a living, evolving place. One of the gentlest wonders in our galaxy is the nebula, a cloud of gas and dust so large that dozens of solar systems could fit inside it. These clouds are often dark to the eye, but when illuminated by nearby stars, they glow softly like cosmic watercolor. Some shimmer with delicate reds, others with cool blues. Their shapes change over thousands of years, drifting and blending with the surrounding dust until they resemble waves, blossoms, or drifting smoke. Nearby lie reflection nebulae, which do not glow on their own. Instead, they catch starlight like dust floating through a sunbeam, scattering it into soft, powdery blues. If you were to drift near one, the light would look hazy, as though the galaxy were wrapped in a gentle mist. Other regions contain star clusters, groups of stars born from the same cloud, still traveling together through the galaxy like siblings moving through life side by side. Some clusters are loose and spread out, their stars drifting apart. Others are tight and spherical, glowing like ancient jewels suspended in space. These clusters carry quiet stories of formation, companionship, and slow separation. And then there are the stranger structures, things that feel almost abstract in their existence. There are bow shocks, where stars moving through gas create soft, curved fronts, like the wake of a boat traveling across calm water. There are superbubbles, enormous hollow cavities carved out by generations of dying stars, leaving behind vast empty hollows in the galactic disk. There are stellar streams, those long ribbon-like tracings of ancient galaxies that blended into the Milky Way so completely that only faint threads remain. There are even regions filled with interstellar voids, patches of space where stars are sparse, where dust is thin, where darkness stretches softly for dozens of light years without interruption. These voids are not frightening. They are peaceful, quiet, cool. They are the galaxy inhaling, and woven throughout all of are the magnetic fields of the Milky Way, invisible lines that guide charged particles through space. They bend and twist gently, shaping the movement of gas clouds and the glow of certain nebulae. You cannot see them, but they influence the galaxy the way wind influences water. Subtly, continuously, gracefully. Many of the galaxy's most intriguing features are simply places where conditions are slightly different. A little denser here, a little emptier there, a little warmer or cooler depending on the region. But together, they create a tapestry of quiet complexity. A galaxy that feels alive not because it grows quickly or changes suddenly, but because billions of tiny things are happening slowly, all at once. If you could drift through the Milky Way with complete stillness, no ship, no noise, just your presence suspended in space, you would see its wonders unfold not in bursts, but in patience. A glowing cloud here, a gentle cluster there, a faint stream of stars stretching like a soft trail of breadcrumbs across the halo. The galaxy is full of mysteries, but none of them demand urgency. They reveal themselves at the pace of deep time, calm, steady, soothing in their slowness. Even though the Milky Way feels enormous from our perspective, it is only one member of a much larger family, a collection of galaxies drifting together through space in a slow, ancient dance. Nothing about this relationship is hurried. The distances are so vast, the motion so gentle, that entire human civilizations rise and fall, while the galaxies shift barely at all. Our galaxy belongs to a small, quiet group called the local group. It isn't a cluster full of thousands of galaxies, nor a crowded region buzzing with activity. It is a peaceful neighborhood made of just a few dozen members, most of them small, faint, and calm. The two largest galaxies in this group are the Milky Way and the Andromeda Galaxy, our nearest major companion. Even though Andromeda contains hundreds of billions of stars, from Earth it appears only as a faint, elongated patch in a dark sky. Yet that patch is a vast spiral galaxy drifting toward us at a gentle pace, not rushing, not colliding, just moving across millions of years, pulled by the soft gravity between the two galaxies. Someday, far in the future, 4 or 5 billion years from now, the Milky Way and Andromeda will blend together into one larger system. But to the galaxies, this blending will feel like a slow waltz, a graceful interweaving of stars over immense time. The stars within each galaxy will hardly ever touch. They will pass peacefully through one another, guided by gravity's quiet hand. For now, Andromeda is simply a distant companion, glowing softly across the void. Nearby is the Triangulum Galaxy, another spiral that orbits the larger pair like a younger sibling. Between these three galaxies, Andromeda, Triangulum, and the Milky Way, faint bridges of gas stretch across space. These are not dense or bright. They are delicate threads, gentle reminders that galaxies are influenced by one another even across incredible distances. Scattered throughout the local group are many smaller members, tiny dwarf galaxies, quiet spheres of ancient stars, and hidden structures that blend into the darkness. Each one follows its own slow orbit, drifting around the larger galaxies like small boats moving with the tide. All of these galaxies together drift through an even larger structure called the local sheet, which itself is part of a gently flowing region known as the Laniakea supercluster. None of these names need to be remembered. The important thing is the feeling they convey. The universe is arranged in soft layers, each one holding the next, each one moving in graceful, unhurried currents. The Milky Way is not a floating island. It is part of a quiet stream of galaxies, each one carrying its own stars, dust, and stories through the vastness of space. If you could drift far outside the local group and watch from a serene perch, you would see our entire galaxy moving gently through the void, sparkling faintly with billions of tiny lights, accompanied by its companions, all drifting together toward deeper cosmic regions at a pace too slow for any human to observe. And even this motion is not chaotic. It is guided by gravity, shaped by ancient structures, and softened by distances so large that they turn every movement into a calming flow. The Milky Way as we know it today is only one moment in a much longer story, a story that will continue unfolding long after the present night, long after every familiar star in the sky has lived its life and faded into memory. But the galaxy's future is not something to fear. It is slow, serene, and shaped by gentle motions that unfold over billions of years. If you could watch the Milky Way in time-lapse, speeding up billions of years into a few quiet minutes, you would see the spiral arms turning gracefully, like soft brushstrokes slowly drifting across a dark canvas. You would see new stars forming, glowing for a time, and then gently dimming as they return their material to space. You would see dust clouds shifting, clusters dissolving, and old stars migrating from one region to another. Everything would change, but nothing would hurry. One of the most significant events in the galaxy's future is its slow approach toward the Andromeda Galaxy. From our point of view, Andromeda is drifting toward us at a walking pace when measured against the vast scale of time, far too slowly to notice in a lifetime. The two galaxies will not merge for another 4 or 5 billion years, and the blending itself will take even longer. When that time comes, the night sky on future Earth, or whatever worlds may exist then, will change gradually. Andromeda will appear larger over millions of years, stretching across the sky like a glowing arc. The stars of both galaxies will weave together in soft, looping motions. Some stars will be redirected into new paths. Others will continue drifting undisturbed. Most will pass through one another without ever touching. Space is far too empty for collisions to be common. The result will eventually be a single, larger galaxy, smooth, calm, and beautifully reshaped. A new home formed not through impact, but through slow blending. Before and after that distant merger, the Milky Way will continue doing what it has always done. It will form new stars in its spiral arms. It will quietly recycle the material of old stars. It will lose some of its smaller companions and gain others. It will stretch and shift under the influence of dark matter. It will carry its disk, its halo, and its billions of suns through space with patient steadiness. Even Sagittarius A, the black hole at the center of our galaxy, will continue acting as a gentle anchor. It will grow very slowly as stars and gas drift near it, but its influence will remain balanced and calm, just as it has for billions of years. Over even longer timescales, far beyond the lifetime of our Sun, the Milky Way star formation will slow. The galaxy will grow quieter, dimmer, more settled. The bright blue stars that burn hot and fast will vanish first, leaving behind smaller, redder, longer-lived stars that shine with a softer glow. The galaxy's arms may become less defined, its structure more diffuse, its appearance more muted. But even then, the Milky Way will not fade suddenly. It will be a slow dusk, a gentle twilight lasting trillions of years, with stars continuing to shine softly across unimaginable stretches of time. Everything that happens to the Milky Way happens gradually, gracefully, and with the quiet patience of the cosmos. Your life, every life you've ever known, every moment in human history, all of it takes place in a single blink of the galaxy's slow unfolding. And yet, even in that brief moment, we belong to the Milky Way just as much as the stars themselves do. We move with it. We drift with it. We are part of its story. Even though the Milky Way is vast beyond comprehension, our experience of it from Earth is surprisingly simple. A soft, hazy band stretching across a dark night. A line of light delicate enough to overlook, yet profound enough to inspire stories, myths, and quiet moments of awe for as long as humans have existed. When you see the Milky Way from a truly dark place, far from city lights, noise, and distraction, the sky looks deeper, richer, almost textured. The stars don't appear scattered randomly. They gather into patterns, layers, and gentle structures. The band of the galaxy arches like a long bridge across the darkness, glowing with the combined light of billions of distant suns. To the eye, it looks almost like powdered silver dust, soft, continuous, dreamlike. Some regions appear brighter, where groups of stars cluster more densely. Other areas look dimmer, where quiet clouds of dust block the light behind them. These dark patches, often called dark nebulae, look like shadows, but they are actually the outlines of future stars, not yet ignited. On a clear night, if you let your eyes adjust, you can see the Milky Way rise from one horizon, arc overhead, and sink quietly toward the other side of the world. You are seeing the galaxy's disk from the inside, looking through its thin, glowing plane as it turns slowly in space. Even though it appears faint, the Milky Way is always there. It's hidden during the day by sunlight, washed out in cities by artificial glow, and softened by clouds or mist, but it never disappears. And when it does reveal itself, it feels like an invitation. A reminder that above the familiar world of buildings, roads, and daily routines, there is a structure so ancient and so vast that it has witnessed the entire history of humanity. Different cultures have given the Milky Way many names throughout time. Some saw it as a river of spirits traveling across the sky. Others imagined it as a path for gods or animals, or the trail left behind by a celestial bird in flight. No matter the story, the sense of wonder was the same. When you stand beneath a dark sky and look up, the Milky Way has a way of quieting the mind. Your thoughts naturally slow. Your breathing softens. The sky feels wide enough to hold whatever worries you've been carrying. And if you stay long enough, you begin to notice the subtler details, the tiny sparkles of distant star clusters, the warm golden glow near the galactic center, the cool bluish haze toward the outer arms, the faint edge of the Orion spur, the small arm where our sun resides. It's a view shaped not by the entire galaxy, but by our particular place inside it. Earth sits in a calm, quiet region, far from the crowded galactic core, far from the bright star-forming nurseries, in a neighborhood peaceful enough for life to flourish undisturbed. And from this quiet vantage point, the Milky Way appears not as a complicated scientific structure, but as a gentle river of light, a soft reminder of the galaxy we drift through every moment of our lives. When you're ready, we can move on to how the Milky Way shapes our view of the night sky, including constellations, seasons, and the quiet motion of the heavens overhead. When you step outside on a clear night and look upward, the sky may seem like a simple dome scattered with stars. But almost everything you see, every constellation, every bright point, every familiar pattern, is shaped by our position inside the Milky Way. The night sky is not just a backdrop. It is a window into our own galaxy, viewed from a quiet corner of one of its spiral arms. Most of the stars you recognize in constellations like Orion, Cygnus, or Scorpius are members of the Milky Way's disk. They sit relatively close to us on a cosmic scale, bright enough to stand out against the softer glow of the galactic background. These stars are not arranged in flat shapes as they appear from Earth. They are scattered at different distances, drifting through space at their own slow pace. But from our perspective, they form patterns that have guided human imagination for thousands of years. The constellations themselves change gradually over time, not quickly enough to notice in a lifetime, but slowly, gently, over tens of thousands of years. Stars move, their positions shift. Orbits carry them through the galaxy in graceful arcs, altering the familiar patterns we draw in the sky. It is motion too slow to observe, yet constant enough that our sky is never truly the same from one epoch to another. The Milky Way also shapes the seasons of stargazing. Throughout the year, as Earth orbits the Sun, different parts of the galaxy rotate into view. Summer nights in many regions reveal the bright, thick band of the galactic core. Winter nights reveal the quieter outer disk, sparser and more delicate. This slow shift is why the sky feels different from season to season, sometimes crowded with stars, sometimes more spacious, always moving in a rhythm set by the galaxy we inhabit. Even the faint glow that astronomers call air glow and the soft zodiacal lights seen just before dawn or after dusk are influenced by the dusty plane of the Milky Way. These lights are subtle, barely visible to most people, but they remind us that our solar system sits within a greater structure, surrounded by dust, gas, and drifting particles illuminated by sunlight. Clusters and nebulae that appear in the night sky are also shaped by our location in the galaxy. The Pleiades with their shimmering blue haze, the Orion Nebula glowing softly in the sword of Orion, the Lagoon and Trifid nebulae in the summer Milky Way. These features are not random. They trace the lanes of dust and star formation that run through the spiral arm we inhabit. Farther away, globular clusters appear like tiny, concentrated jewels scattered across the halo. They rise in certain seasons and disappear in others, their visibility determined by Earth's orientation inside the galaxy's vast sphere of stars. Even darkness itself is shaped by the Milky Way. The gaps in the band of light are not empty regions. They are dust clouds drifting through the disk, blocking the starlight behind them and creating soft shadows across the sky. If you could remove the dust entirely, the night would be flooded with far more light. The band of the Milky Way glowing brighter and more structured, the core shimmering with golden warmth. But the dust is part of the beauty. It adds depth, texture, and complexity to the sky, softening the brightness into the gentle glow we know so well. Every star you see, every cluster you marvel at, every season you experience is shaped by our quiet position inside this spiral galaxy. And perhaps the most comforting thought of all, you've been traveling with these stars your entire life. Every night sky you've ever seen has been a view from a moving world, circling a moving sun, drifting through a moving galaxy. It's easy to forget, in the rhythm of everyday life, that we live inside something as vast and intricate as the Milky Way. We wake up, we move through our routines, we go about our days without ever thinking about the quiet cosmic structure that surrounds us. Yet every moment of our lives unfolds within a galaxy, a place made of stars, dust, gravity, and time, all drifting together through the universe with extraordinary patience. To live inside a galaxy means to be part of a story much larger than anything we experience directly. It means that the atoms in your body were forged from ancient stars. It means the sunlight warming your skin was born in the core of a star drifting along a spiral arm. It means that every part of your life, every memory, every moment of stillness is carried through space by the gentle motion of the Milky Way. Sometimes, without realizing it, we align ourselves with this cosmic rhythm. We feel calm under a dark sky. We feel small in a way that brings relief rather than fear. We pause in the presence of something larger, something steady, something that continues on whether we are paying attention or not. Living inside a galaxy means being wrapped in a kind of cosmic continuity. Our sun has completed only a fraction of its long orbit through the Milky Way since Earth first formed. Every species that has ever lived, every creature that has ever walked, swum, or flown, has existed during a single small segment of that orbit. The galaxy has carried us gently the entire time, without hurry, without interruption. If you could step outside the Milky Way and look back at it, you might feel a profound sense of belonging, because you were formed from its material. You are illuminated by one of its stars. You are held in place by its gravity, and you move through space as a passenger on its long, looping path. Even though galaxies seem remote and abstract, the Milky Way is not distant from you at all. You're inside it every second of your life. It is the environment that shapes the night sky, the birthplace of every star you have ever seen, and the quiet structure that makes existence possible on Earth. And perhaps the most peaceful realization is this: you don't have to understand the galaxy fully to be part of it. You don't have to solve its mysteries or measure its distances. You simply exist within it, the same way a leaf drifts along a slow-moving river, carried, supported, connected. Some people find comfort in imagining their place in a vast universe. Others find comfort in knowing that this scale means their worries, their stresses, their anxieties are small against the backdrop of billions of years. Both perspectives are true. Both are gentle. Both belong to anyone who looks up at a dark sky and feels something quietly shift inside them. Living inside the Milky Way means being part of a calm, ancient system that has been unfolding since long before humanity appeared and will continue long after. For as long as humans have looked upward, the Milky Way has stirred something deep and quiet within us, a feeling that is difficult to name, yet instantly familiar. It is not just curiosity, not just awe. It is a soft sense of connection, of perspective, of being part of something vast and timeless. Even before we understood what the Milky Way truly was, its presence shaped the way we told stories, the way we navigated the world, the way we understood our place in it. Thousands of years ago, long before telescopes or scientific explanations, people noticed the pale band of light stretching across the darkness. To them, it looked like a river or a trail or a bridge, a pathway to the heavens, a route for souls, a sign of movement between worlds. Every culture saw something meaningful in it, something gentle and guiding. Even today, with all we know about galaxies, that feeling hasn't gone away. Part of the wonder comes from its scale. The Milky Way is enormous, too large for the mind to fully grasp. Yet from Earth, it appears delicate, a faint ribbon of light carefully placed across the sky. Something so vast should feel overwhelming, and yet it calms us. It reminds us that life continues beyond our worries, beyond our rushing thoughts, beyond the narrow frames of our daily routines. Another part of the wonder comes from the Milky Way's softness. Its light is not bright or harsh. It glows gently, like a quiet memory. The stars within it are too numerous to see individually, but together they form a smooth luminosity that feels more like a presence than a pattern. It is a light you don't look at, but ease into. There is also something comforting about knowing that we are inside this structure, not standing outside, observing from afar, but living within its spiraling arms, moving with it through the universe. The same stars that form the galaxy's soft glow also form the material of our bodies, the calcium in our bones, the iron in our blood. The connection is literal, not metaphorical. People often say that the night sky makes them feel small, but the Milky Way tends to do the opposite. It makes us feel included, part of something ongoing and ancient, something that doesn't rush or demand, but simply continues. There is wonder, too, in how the Milky Way changes with the seasons. It rises earlier in the summer. It sinks lower in the winter. It slides across the sky in a rhythm we may not consciously track, but our bodies and minds sense the shift. That slow movement helps anchor us in time, reminding us that we live on a world that turns, within a galaxy that drifts, within a universe that unfolds gently around us. Even the darkness in the Milky Way, the dust lanes, the quiet shadows, the softened patches where starlight fades, adds to its beauty. They remind us that light and shadow coexist, that clarity and mystery shape each other, that not everything needs to be seen to be felt. Perhaps the greatest wonder of all is this: for every human who has ever lived, for every generation that has come and gone, the Milky Way has been there, unchanging in its presence, even as the world below it has shifted countless times. It has watched civilizations rise and fall. It has shone over oceans and deserts, over ancient temples and quiet forests, over curious minds and restless hearts. And in its quiet glow, we have always found a moment of stillness. If you pause for a moment and imagine yourself floating gently through the Milky Way, no ships, no engines, no sound at all, you might begin to sense how peaceful the galaxy truly is. We often picture space as chaotic or overwhelming, but most of the Milky Way is calm, silent, spacious. Stars sit far apart, each surrounded by its own bubble of darkness and light. Dust moves slowly. Gas clouds drift for millions of years before changing shape. Everything unfolds at a pace that feels almost timeless. In this imagined drift, you're not rushing toward anything. You're simply moving the way the galaxy moves, softly, steadily, guided by gravity and time. You might pass through a region filled with young stars, the light warm and bright, still wrapped in soft halos of dust left over from their birth. Their glow would feel gentle, almost like candlelight spread across enormous distances. Then, a little farther along, you might drift into a quieter stretch, where only a few lone stars shimmer in the distance, each one separated by unimaginable space. The contrast would not feel jarring, only natural, like traveling from a glowing city into a wide open countryside. No matter where you go, the Milky Way feels patient. It doesn't rush you. It doesn't pull you forward with urgency. It simply surrounds you, the way a calm ocean surrounds a drifting boat. If you drifted downward toward the galactic disk, you would see the soft concentration of starlight increase. Dust lanes would appear as gentle shadows. Star clusters would shimmer like tiny islands. The great spiral pattern, invisible from Earth, might begin to reveal itself slowly, not as a rigid shape, but as a soft, gradual change in the density of stars around you. The spiral arms would pass by like long, glowing rivers. You wouldn't feel their motion. You would only notice the gradual thickening of stars, the warmer glow of starlight, the presence of more dust and gas shaped by unseen waves. If you drifted upward, away from the disk, the sky would slowly thin. Stars would become sparser. The glow of the Milky Way would spread out beneath you, like a vast, luminous cloud suspended in darkness. You'd see the halo stretching outward, faint, ancient, barely visible, a soft boundary between the galaxy and the deeper universe. Every direction would feel infinite, but not intimidating. More like a quiet, open field that stretches farther than you can see. A place where time feels different, where silence has weight, and where even your thoughts might soften to match the stillness around you. What makes drifting through the galaxy feel comforting is the scale of it, not the size in miles or light years, but the scale of time. The Milky Way changes so slowly that nothing within a single lifetime feels rushed or impermanent. Stars move, but so gradually that they seem steady. Patterns shift, but over spans so long they become nearly eternal. In this imagined journey, you are not separate from the galaxy. You are part of it. You drift because everything drifts. You follow the sun's path because everything follows a path. You belong to the same quiet motion that carries stars, dust, planets, and clusters across the cosmic ocean. And perhaps the most peaceful part of this thought is that you have always been drifting. Every moment of your life, every memory you carry, every night you've ever looked up at the sky, all of it has happened while you and the Earth and the Sun have been gliding through the Milky Way together. When you think about the Milky Way, its billions of stars, its slow drifting motion, its ancient past and distant future, something subtle begins to shift inside you. The mind stretches just a little. Worries loosen their grip. The scale of everyday concerns becomes softer, smaller, easier to set aside, not because they don't matter, but because the galaxy gently places them in context. Cosmic time moves differently than human time. We measure our lives in days, weeks, years. But the Milky Way moves in millions and billions of years. Its changes are so slow that even entire civilizations unfold in only a blink of its story. When you step back, even just in imagination, you begin to feel this difference. A stressful day is still important, but it is no longer overwhelming. The future feels less rushed. Your place in the world feels both tiny and meaningful at the same time. This isn't about minimizing your life. It's about softening the pressure around it. The galaxy is vast, but its vastness isn't cold. It's calming. Its patience gives permission for you to slow down too, to breathe a little deeper, to let thoughts pass without clinging, to remember that not everything needs to be solved right now. Cosmic perspective is not about distance. It's about gentleness. Imagine holding a worry in your hand, something that's been circling your mind, something that feels heavy or tangled. Now imagine placing that worry within the scale of the Milky Way, not to make it disappear, but to let it rest. Suddenly, the edges soften. The urgency fades. The worry becomes one detail in a much larger picture, still valid, still real, but no longer pressing against your thoughts. The galaxy has existed for over 13 billion years. It will continue drifting through space long after the present moment has passed. And here you are, a part of it, held within its structure, carried through time by its calm, ancient motion. When you look at the night sky, you're not just seeing stars, you're seeing perspective. A reminder that the universe has room for every feeling you carry, and enough stillness for every thought to settle gently into place. Cosmic perspective doesn't erase difficulties, but it softens them, holding them against a backdrop so wide that even the heaviest moments feel a little lighter. In that softness, your mind finds space to breathe. As our quiet journey through the Milky Way begins to settle, you may notice a softness in your thoughts, a gentle loosening, as if the mind has finally been given permission to rest. The galaxy has a way of doing that. Its scale, its patience, its slow unfolding across billions of years. It reminds us that life does not need to be hurried, that stillness is not an interruption, but a part of the natural rhythm of existence. You've drifted among stars. You've wandered through dust clouds and quiet halos. You've explored spiral arms, ancient histories, and softly glowing nebulae. You felt the calm steadiness of a galaxy moving on a timescale so vast that even your deepest worries begin to fade in comparison. Now, as we come to the end of this journey, imagine yourself returning to a place of quiet rest within the Milky Way. Not a specific location, not a planet or a star, but simply a sense of belonging. A gentle awareness that you are held within something ancient and serene. The galaxy around you is unhurried. It moves in wide, graceful arcs. Stars glide through their orbits without urgency. Dust gathers and disperses slowly. Even entire galaxies approach each other over spans of time so long that they create no fear, only inevitability, only continuation. In this stillness, you are free to settle, free to let each breath slow, free to let the weight of the day drift away, the same way dust drifts through a sunlit beam. Nothing here demands effort. Nothing requires thinking. You can simply rest. Feel the quiet around you, a quiet large enough to hold stars, yet gentle enough to soothe a single human mind. Feel the soft glow of distant starlight, blended together into a milky haze that has shone over humanity for thousands of years. Feel the slow turning of the galaxy, a motion so calm, so steady, that it becomes a lullaby in itself. You don't need to hold on to anything now. You don't need to solve or plan or anticipate. The galaxy has room for all of that, but none of it is needed in this moment. Here, in the stillness of the Milky Way, rest is natural, rest is easy, rest is yours. And as we prepare to drift into the outro, let this feeling stay with you. The sense of being small, but never insignificant, quiet, but never alone, held within a galaxy that has carried life, starlight, and story for billions of years. As we reach the end of this quiet journey through the Milky Way, let yourself settle even more deeply into whatever position feels most comfortable. You've spent this time drifting among stars, wandering through gentle clouds of dust, exploring ancient structures and soft cosmic currents. And now, there is nowhere you need to go, nowhere you need to be, nothing left to understand, nothing left to do. Just rest. The galaxy continues its slow turning without any effort from you. The sun keeps drifting along its graceful orbit. Earth keeps moving softly through space. And you are carried with it, safe, supported, and part of something vast and unhurried. If sleep is beginning to gather at the edges of your awareness, allow it to come closer. Let it wrap around you like a warm, quiet layer of starlight. You don't have to reach for it. You don't have to make it happen. Sleep arrives when the mind feels safe enough to let go, and the galaxy has a way of creating that safety, reminding you that everything is okay in this moment, that everything can be gentle, that you can simply drift. If you're still awake, that's perfectly fine too. Just enjoy the stillness, the soft rhythm of your breathing, the faint hum of calm that lingers after thinking on cosmic timescales. Sometimes, resting the mind is as valuable as sleep itself. And as you continue to drift, know that the Milky Way, with its billions of quiet stars and its slow, patient motion, is always there above you, steady and ancient, holding the night sky together. Thank you for spending this time here, for letting these soft reflections accompany you, and for choosing to slow down long enough to feel the universe in its gentlest form. If you'd like to return for another journey, Science for Sleep will be here, always ready to take you on another calm exploration through the quiet corners of the cosmos. For now, rest deeply, sleep peacefully, and may the soft drift of starlight carry you gently into dreams. Good night.